Ladies and gentlemen, at last, Lu Jishen knew how to act according to circumstances. Otherwise, he wouldn't get half a drop of wine. Now he said that he was a pilgrim who had just arrived in these parts of land. Besides, he could have big bowls of alcohol. And what is more, he could have some sheep meat too. Wow! The innkeeper explained that he thought as a monk he wouldn't eat any meat. And why he just hadn't shown the truth, besides, is for himself later. So Lu Jishen didn't mind that, of course. Bring me half of the sheep meat also. The innkeeper saw Jishen's shone silver in his hand and quickly went to get half the boy sheep meat, together with some garlic paste, which he put down in front of Jishen. Wow! The latter began eagerly tearing the meat, enjoying himself with his hands, dipping it in the garlic paste before eating it. Well, to me it's horrible, but to him it's delicious. A monk was supposed to be a vegetarian. How dare he eat meat? Oh, my goodness. Now he poured the wine down with another 10 cups. Good. The grease was dripping down his chin, but he didn't mind at all. He was only interested in stuffing himself. Nothing could stop him, I tell you. The innkeeper, who had been watching with mouth wide open, Father, that's enough, is it? Jishen just stared at him. I'm paying for what I eat. So what is it to do with you? Yeah, bring me another quart of wine. The innkeeper had to go and get more. Jishen drank this at one ram. There was one sheep's leg left over, which he stuffed inside his robe. Enough for today. He left his table saying, keep the change. I'll be back again to eat tomorrow. Tomorrow? So, the horrified innkeeper stood at the door with eyes wide open, watching helplessly as Jishen set off in the direction of Mount Wutai Monastery. Oh, he was lying. Well, when Jishen reached the pavilion halfway up the mountain, he sat down for a while. I sit for a while. The wine had gone to his head, but he fell so energetic. Ah, it's a long time since I gave up kung fu playing. I feel stiff all over. I better practice a few postures. He moved down from the pavilion, rolled up his sleeves, and started lunging left and right, high and low. This brought his strength back. But the sudden movement of his shoulder against one of the pillars of the pavilion set a rumbling and then a crash as the pillar broke. And one side of the pavilion collapsed. The thundering noise was heard by the temple doorkeepers, half the mountainside away, and looking down, they saw Jason staggering up the mountain. Look out! The beast is drunken again. We must shut the gates and bolt them thoroughly. Let me see. Watching through a crack, they saw Jason stumble to the gates, and finding them shut, boom, boom, start drumming on them with his fist. Boom, 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 boom. But they had no intention of opening up. Jason knocked and knocked, but in vain. Keep the door shut. He turned round and caught sight of the massive dog guard in the left. Hey, why don't you help me knock? You big yahoo! He began to roar. It's no good waving your fists at me. I'm not afraid of you. Hey, pickpocket! Leaping onto the platform where the statue stood, he grasped the rail and all at once wrenched it out. Picking up one of the broken palings, he continued to crash the feet of the door guard till plaster and paint began to fly. Well, the doorkeepers saw and cried, "Oh, go quickly! We must tell Father Abbot." At this moment, Jason suddenly saw the other door guard on the right. Why are you opening your big fat mouth like that? Are you laughing at me, eh? Leaping onto the right-hand platform, he gave the other door guard heavy blows, bang, bang, on the legs, and with a sound like thundering, boom, 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 bah! It came falling down. Oh, no! Boom, bah! It came falling down onto the ground. Jason still stood there, with a broken paling in his hand, and roared with laughter. Ha 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 ha! And now, when the abbot got the horrible news from the two doorkeepers, don't provoke him. Keep well away from him. At this moment, all the senior monks arrive in the abbot's quarters. That wild beast has got himself into a crazy state of drunkenness again. What are we going to do? There's a saying that even the emperor himself keeps out of the way of drunks. How much more so ought an abbot to be? If he has damaged the dog gods, we will ask his sponsor, Mr. Xiao, to come and replace them. He can pay for the damaged pavilion also. It's his responsibility. But those dog gods are supposed to protect our monastery. We can't just change them, the monks objected. However, the abbot said, even if he had destroyed the Buddha of the 3 ages in the Great Hall, there would still be no better policy than to keep away. Keep away from him. Don't you remember what he was like the time before? The other all muttered, "Oh, what an abbot! What a blockhead!" The monks just sat among themselves and shouted to the doorkeepers, "Oh, don't open, just stay there and listen." But outside the gate, Lu Jishen continued to make a tremendous shouting. "You big bunch of bald asses! If you don't open this door to me, I'll set fire to it and burn this thing then. Burn this damn temple down, I tell you!" Wow! Hearing these threats, the monks had no alternative but to order the doorkeepers to open the gate and let the wild animal in. If they hadn't, he might really have done something unbelievable. So, with the utmost care, the doorkeepers quietly slid back the bolts. And then took off as if they had wings, flying to hide in their rooms. All the other monks also took shelters themselves. Jishen now summoned up all his strength. He thrust at the door with both hands. He flew through so suddenly that it tripped and fell. He fell on the ground. Now he crawled up, rubbing his head, and then rushed off to the monks' rooms. When he reached the meditation hall, the contemplatives were doing their meditation. They had a shock when they saw Jishen pushing in, but they quickly lowered their heads again. Jishen just came to the couch, but then there was a horrible gargling sound, and he began to vomit. On the floor. The situation was unbearable. Oh, Buddha, help me. Help me. Covering their mouths and noses with their hands. Oh, what a dreadful, dirty situation has he made. Chapter 11. I just simply let the chapter bring you the answer.